Hello everyone. Sorry about that. So today on Hololive Chess we have a very special game to bring to you by two excellent Hololive Vtubers and extraordinary chess players. We have Hakos Baelz playing with the black pieces and Usada Pekora playing with the white pieces. Now Hololive Chess is something that I've really loved to do in the past, and I know it's been a little while. And I've been itching to get back into it. And it's always a joy watching some of my favorite VTubers play chess, and all the fun stuff that's generally associated with newcomers and playing chess in front of a very large and very, dismayed crowd. It's always a good time for everyone involved, and I love seeing it on stream, and I was lucky enough to be able to watch Hakos Baelz play Pekora in a really fun and exciting chess match, and surprisingly actually a lot less disastrous than maybe some of the other Hololive or VTuber chess matches that we've done in the past, but still it was a whole lot of craziness for sure. If you want to watch some of the other chess analysis videos I've done, be sure to check out the playlist that's in the description and the pinned comments. We've done Amelia Watson versus Gargura, we've done Pikami versus Ina, and we also covered Code Geass chess as well. If you've seen that anime, it's a great one, so be sure to check those out. And be sure to subscribe for more. We're going to be doing more chess analysis videos in the near future. There was another chess game between Crony and Ollie as well, which we will likely cover in the near future. So again, be sure to subscribe for that and stay tuned for more videos. I'm on a roll so far, so I plan on keeping it going. Before we start though, I do want to say that this is of course all in good fun. I have nothing but respect to the Hololive VTubers, and we're only doing this just to have some fun and to analyze a game that is obviously between two newcomers. So please don't take offense. I know, generally speaking, that's all been pretty well understood, but you know, there's one or two comments over here and there. So again, nothing but love to both players involved, and this is just all for fun and all for a good time. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we just get started? Pekora starts with b3, of course, the rat's gambit, and then Baelz responds with d5, and then Pekora plays b4. Now this is a bit of a strange move. You may be wondering why b4 was played here when you could just play it on the first move. I believe Pekora didn't actually know that you can move pawns up 2 squares until Bay did, so then she was like, oh, so there you go. Next up is f5 by Baelz. The best move here would be, of course, e5. That way you have a discovered attack on the pawn with the bishop right here, and then you're also developing your center, so then you have complete control over these squares. Next up is g4 by Pekora. This is, of course, a very unfortunate blunder by Pekora because you are absolutely hanging that pawn. But instead of capturing, Baelz plays e5, so you know, center control. I guess you can't be too upset about that. And if takes, then we have bishop takes, so not the worst thing ever. h4 is played by Pekora then, followed by f captures g4 by Baelz, finding the perfect move here. So congrats to Baelz for the accuracy. But we have h5 by Pekora, followed by bishop to d6 by Baelz, the first developing move of a minor piece. A lot of pawn pushes within this one, which I guess beats all the rook moves early on in a lot of the other Hololive chess videos that I've done. But regardless, Pekora plays c4, Bay plays e4. Now you may be wondering, didn't she just blunder this pawn? Correct. However, of course, that is not captured. We have bishop to a3 by Pekora, and now pawn to c5 by Baelz. This is very much a mistake because white can simply capture that pawn, and bishop can't recapture because we have the bishop covering right here. So Pekora captures beautifully, and then Baelz absolutely blunders her bishop by capturing the pawn on c5, and of course we have bishop captures on c5 by Pekora, a beautiful move, and white is certainly in the lead at this current point. We have queen to f6 is what is played. Best move actually here would be d4, so just pushing up the pawn. But instead, we have queen to f6. Pekora then plays c captures d5, which is an odd move because you are not defending the rook at all. Best move here would of course be knight c3, defending the rook from the queen attack, because if queen captures then pawn captures right here, which of course would be terrible. Instead, however, Pekora does play c captures d5, and Baelz misses the rook capture by playing pawn to g3, and then Pekora misses the fact that Baelz misses the rook capture by playing f captures g3, and then we have knight h6. The engine is very upset at this game at this point for playing the moves that were played. Is definitely having a hard time understanding why certain moves are being done, and in all fairness, I can't really blame it. We have d6 by Pekora. Best move here would be queen to a4 with check, just developing and starting up just a really brutal attack if black doesn't play it properly. But instead, of course, we get pawn to d6, and here we get queen captures on a1. However, the best move here would be knight to d7, just covering the check, because again, that would be quite brutal. But we have queen capture. So the correct move a little while ago, instead of going with that attack, we have knight to a3 by Pekora. And of course, when you are down that much material at this point, you really don't want to be trading, but that is exactly the opportunity that Pekora gives Baelz. Baelz plays queen captures a2, followed by rook to h4 by Pekora. Not really accomplishing a whole lot, if we're being honest, but it's a move that is played. So now, the more sophisticated chess players of us here may find that there's a small inaccuracy within this particular move, queen captures on a3. Well, it's a little bit weak for a few reasons. So actually, which I'm quite surprised about, Pekora finds the absolute best move in rook captures e4 with check. And now, of course, after the king moves, you have this beautiful bishop capture right there. So queen to d8, and of course, what is played is you can see that progress bar really just sink. D7. So, and for those of you who actually don't know, this queen has been hanging, which would have just been game over if white had captured, but instead we get this. It's what makes these kinds of games fun, because you're always on your toes. We have queen captures on c5, so the hanging bishop hangs no more. So now we have pawn to d4 by Pekora. The best move here would actually just be his pawn captures the bishop right there, and then, well, I mean, it's gone the next turn, but instead Bae decides to attack. We have queen captures on h5. The best move here would actually be queen to c3 with check, but instead what we get is queen captures on h5, followed by pawn captures on c8, queening, and of course, well, Bae doesn't have no choice but to capture, but she does capture, which is excellent. So we have knight to f3 by Baelz. Now this is an inconsistency, but compared to the rest of the inconsistencies so far, I think it's fine. We have queen to d5 by Baelz, and rook to e8 with check is what is played. So you may be thinking, couldn't you just capture the rook? correct, and Bae does that. So we have an 8.5 lead for black here. This game is essentially over, but you really do never know with these kinds of games, and you'll see why. We have pawn to g4 by Pekora, hanging the pawn, and then we have knight captures on g4 by Baelz, queen to a4 by Pekora, attacking the rook, and we have rook over by Pekora as well, or Baelz. So lining up the queen and the rook for an attack on this open file, or not open file, but on this file. We have bishop to h3 by Pekora, so attacking the knights right here, so that's actually quite a good move. And now we have knights to a6 by Baelz. So that's a free knight, which Pekora will take, with check as well. And funnily, every single time that there has been a check in this game, Pekora will loudly exclaim, "Checkmate!" Which would be cool if that's how that worked, but no, we have rook to d7. The best move here would just be king over instead, because you don't really want to make that trade. A queen for or rook for a bishop. That is of course not the best move. We have queen takes. Now we have knights to e5. Now there is a slight problem with this move, so I will give you a moment to try to figure it out again. Congratulations if you found, well, you know, queen captures. So yes, the second hung queen in this game. I mean, honestly, it's starting to look like my chess games at this point. But yes, the Pekora's queen is hanging, which Bae will actually capture. So there you go. The game is all but over at this point. We have pawn to d5 by Pekora. Now, of course, there is a mate in 24. So if you don't see that, I mean, like, you're not gonna make it in the chess world, I guess. But I don't think, somehow I don't see Baelz finding the mate in 24, even though I did so easily, of course. Of course, I'm kidding. So d5 followed by queen to a1 with check. Now we have king f2. Now, of course, this is really an excellent attack because now that is a free knight and you can just consolidate your position. But instead we have knight to b4, and then knight to f7 by white with, of course, a mate in 27 now. And this pawn is also hanging, for the record, but I think we're past that point at this time. We have king to d7, knight to e5 with check, and Pekora once again loudly exclaiming "Checkmate," which is not exactly what that is. King to c7, pawn to d6, hanging the pawn, of course. So king captures on d6. Knights to c4 with checkmate, as Pekora says. Knights or king to d5, king to f6, rook to f8 with check, king to e3, knight to c2 with check, king to d3, and of course there is a mate in here. Mate in 3. It is knights to b4, king to d2, queen to d4 with check, king to c1, and lastly rook to f1 with checkmate. That is, sadly, we do not get such a beautiful mate here. Instead, we have a fairly long line of queen to a3 with check, king captures on c2. Again, we have a mate in 3, which we're not going to go over, but queen to a4 with check, king to d3, pawn to h5. Of course, Baelz could have just captured the knight there. Instead, we have a beautiful knight to d6 with check, or at least it would have been if it weren't for the pawn right there. Pawn captures on b6 by Baelz. So a good idea by Pekora. Just not quite. And we have mate and 4 on the board. Pawn to e3, h4 by black, king to d2, h3, king to c3, h2 by Baelz, pawn to e4 with check. And I think, if memory serves me right, Pekora once again said checkmate, even though no. Then Bae plays king captures on e4. We have king d2. Bae then promotes to a queen. King to e2. And although there is a mate in 1, we don't not quite get it. We have queen to h2 with check. King to e1. And finally, to finish up the game and spare us from a very painful end game that we have seen so many other times in Holo chess, we have queen to a1 with checkmate by Hakos Baelz. So there you go. This was a very surprising Holo chess game. It is by far the least amount of moves within one of these games at only 46 or 45. By far the game with the least amount of moves in total at only 45. So that is, all things considered, a very excellently played Hololive chess game by Pekora and Baelz. This was so much fun to watch, and just seeing Pekora get so excited whenever she did a checkmate, as she called it. It was a lot of fun, and you know, that's kind of what these things are all about. Of course, there were so many blunders, but that really just adds to the charm. And you know, it's one of the reasons why I love watching these games so much, because you get all these, you get so many fun moves and so many missed things and so many blunders, and surprisingly a few actually really good moves. So I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment for which VTuber chess video analysis you'd like to see next. I'm probably planning on doing Ollie versus Crony, but if you have any other games, I'd love to cover them. So be sure to leave a comment if I haven't seen one yet. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, and of course, check out Usada Pekora and Hakos Baelz for really excellent VTuber contents. They're some of my favorites to watch, and this chess game was just a blast. And as always, have an excellent day.